names, all of your pictures and captions and everything like that. So it's good to see you all. We are here. Mindset Saturday. We made it another weekend, another week. I hope it went well for all of you. I expect, accept, assume, and intend that it did. So it's wonderful to see you all again. We are here to remember who we are, to think as we should and live as we should. That is why we are here. So it is wonderful. All right. Does anybody know 26? It's a number, so I'll just Academy Awards. This person has 26 Academy Awards. They have the most individual Academy Awards of anybody. Anybody have an idea who this is? Just need 3 guesses.
Martin Scorsese.
Okay.
Beyonce is on the chat.
Okay.
Does Denzel? I like Denzel.
Yeah, no.
Ah.
Walt Disney.
Oh, snap.
Now, you know why I said that? That's 26. He has the most out of anybody. That's amazing. Guess what else happened to Walt Disney?
Bankrupt.
He went bankrupt when he first started.
Huh.
So this person went from bankruptcy to having the most Academy Awards ever. If you don't think you can change, or you don't think you can keep growing or become something you haven't been, that's a you problem.
Ooh.
Next thing here.
Parting the blows.
Oh yeah, no, it's gonna get hot in here today. My attitude is bad and everything off the beginning. I'm just gonna tell you, I'm not here today to be a good person, nice. If you have feelings today, I suggest you take them and put them somewhere safe. Put them in a vault, a safe. Put them under your pillow. Do something nice with them, because today is not the day. Today is not. I'm not playing with anybody today, right? So here's another thing. Let's see. Scotch tape. The car radio as we know it today. Brand name. These are under something. Brand name. Kids menu. Walgreens, as you know it. Oh, and is that this? Okay, Scotch tape, the car radio, sliced bread. Do you know when those came into existence? What part of time?
The 60s.
Okay.
They're not all in the same time frame.
Yeah, they are.
They are?
Yep.
You would have thought sliced bread would have been a lot older, right?
Say it again.
I would have thought sliced bread would have been a lot older, but I guess not.
Not sliced bread. You could slice your bread, but like a bread slicer, like how it's uniform and things like that.
Right.
Sliced bread, yeah. No.
I'm gonna say, you saying what time?
What time period? What time frame?
Say like the 30s.
Yeah. The Depression.
Okay.
The Great Depression. Scotch was a slight towards Scottish people. It meant cheap. The person who made that tape originally made masking tape. And then as he developed it, and this person worked for a company that we now call 3M, that 3M product line. This person decided he was making Scotch tape. He was making what we would masking tape. But there was also people who were selling bread and things like that that were trying to make it look nicer in the packaging, and they were looking for things to tape it with or close it with. And so he went home and developed what you call Scotch tape. But Scotch tape at the time only had the adhesive on the sides of the tape. So you pull the whole thing out, but it was only on the side. The middle didn't have any adhesive in it. And so the word Scotch was a form of cheap. Why are you being so Scotch? Why is this tape so Scotch? It was a derogatory terms toward the Scottish, but it meant cheap, right? The word, so Scotch tape that we use, it originally meant cheap. The car radio came out of the Great Depression. People stopped buying a lot of things, but one of the things that they had gotten used to at this point were cars, whatever the ones they had. So originally car radios were there, but they were not accessible to everyone because they were an extra cost and most people couldn't afford it. So this person invented the car radio as we know it today in a way that made it cheaper. And the name of that car radio, does anybody know what they called that? It's also a phone. It was also like a phone. They also made phones.
Motorola.
Yep. Motorola. That was the name of that car radio, was Motorola.
That was a full blown guess.
Sliced bread was essentially when people had a loaf, they had a loaf of bread. Everything was sold in loaves. And then you could take a knife and cut your own portion, so to speak, but it wasn't uniform because everybody was cutting whatever they wanted to whatever degree they wanted. Sliced bread came out of this same time where a person created an invention, so to speak, right? They made an invention to slice bread uniformly. They actually went bankrupt trying to fill all the orders. Well, not bankrupt, but they went broke. Not bankrupt, but they went broke trying to fill all the orders because once they created this thing, they couldn't find enough people to help them make it, right? And so they sold their patent to what we know now as Wonder Bread. And Wonder Bread basically hired them to be the head of that part of their company because they were the inventor of sliced bread. So when they say, like, you think you're the best thing since sliced bread? Yeah, sliced bread was the best thing happening when it first happened, right? So that's what it was, the Depression. Brand name, kids menu, Walgreens. Where did that come from? What period of time?
Which one?
1908.
19, what? Which one?
You said Walgreens.
Walgreens. Okay. What period of time did that come from? Brand name, kids menu, Walgreens. What are those things? Walgreens as you know it now.
Again, that was in the late 1900s.
Is that the 60s or the 70s? Because I'm thinking about McDonald's and when they
Right.
came out and all
Right.
that.
Okay. All right. So this came out of Prohibition.
Prohibition.
Walgreens as you know it. Walgreens originally was a pharmacy. When Prohibition came, right, you could have alcohol in your home and you could drink alcohol, but you could not make it, transport it, or sell it. That's where NASCAR came from, where bootleggers were making alcohol and they were racing it from one state to another, selling it to people because they had Prohibition agents. Al Capone's older brother was a Prohibition agent. How ironic is that, right? But NASCAR came from people getting hired to transport this alcohol from one place to another. So they would soup their cars up and make it as fast as they could to get away from everybody. And so what happened was they made a deal. Alcohol, the doctors made a deal with the government so that they could be able to continue to sell alcohol as a cure for stomach aches and all different things that they thought alcohol would cure. So they had a license basically to sell a certain amount of alcohol to a person as a patient. That's where Walgreens really blew up because you had to go to the pharmacy to fill it. So Walgreens existed before then, but they blew up from there. Kids menu. The kids menu came from Prohibition because adults would go to places to drink alcohol. Well, when those restaurants and things like that could no longer serve alcohol, the next thing they turned their attention to was kids, because kids didn't originally go to the restaurant with their parents earlier back in the day. It was just for adults. So they created a kids menu so that parents could bring their kids to eat with them. And that basically, well, it didn't replace the income, because at one time in this country, alcohol sales taxes from alcohol was 30 to 40% of our country's of our government's revenue, right? That's their 30 to 40% of their money came from the tax of alcohol being taxed. It was a big deal, right? And the only reason they were able to get rid of it originally is because they substituted the alcohol tax with what we now know today as the income tax.
Either.
That's how they got away. That's how they got away with substituting that. They switched the money. That's why they waited so long to do it, because they didn't have another way to get 30 to 40% of Americans' money, so to speak, before they had this income tax. It was coming from alcohol, right? So kids menu is when restaurants started tipping, came from this same thing. Tipping came from prohibition, because one of the biggest things that was, restaurants were paying all the waiters and waitresses decent, a livable wage, so to speak, when there was alcohol. But once there was no alcohol, there wasn't enough money. So then they turned that responsibility onto the customer. That's where tipping really came from, as we know it today, right? As well as the kids menu, brand name. When everybody was making alcohol, everybody was making their own alcohol. Like literally, if you were doing it, you were doing it by whatever means you had. But what happened was people were dying because people who were making alcohol didn't necessarily know what they were doing. So people were getting all kind of poisonings and all livers, kidney. I mean, all the people's internal organs were getting messed up. I think they had anywhere from 10 to 20 some thousand people die during this time just from alcohol poisoning or related deaths because of the way it was made. So brand name, what brand name meant was you were willing to pay extra for this brand that had a name that you recognized. These bootleggers were legit. As ironic as that's, as oxymoronic as that is, these bootleggers were legit. This brand was safe for you to consume. That's where the term brand name came from. So this came from Prohibition and Depression. Look at the things that came out of these times. Look at Walt Disney, who has the most Academy Awards ever, first went bankrupt. You can change, and things can come out of the craziest times of life or your life. The most amazing thing is a car. Can you imagine riding in a car with no radio? Do that, right? Can you imagine you having to cut your own bread every time? Right? Can you imagine, right, not having a kids menu when you take your kids somewhere? Can you imagine not being able to go to the pharmacy, which is a Greek word, pharmakeia, which means sorcery? That's a whole nother thing. It's not the point. Stay on task. Or Scotch tape, right? When you can put something together and you taping your stuff up. All these things came out of what we would call some pretty dark, shady times. Walt Disney came out of some pretty dark, shady times, right? And went from bankruptcy to the most Academy Awards ever by an individual.
Say more about that, Coach.
About what?
About what part? Sorcery.
Oh, it's a Greek word, pharmakeia. That's what the word pharmacy means. It's a Greek word, pharmakeia. It means sorcery. It's they're basically they are casting spells on you by changing your chemistry, the chemistry in your body, by the drugs they give you. That's what they're for. It's to alter your brain chemistry. That's what the word pharmacy means. It's a Greek word, pharmakeia. It means sorcery. Right? I'm not saying everything is ominous and, you can't go to the pharmacy. Thank God for the pharmacy. And a lot of times, right, you need some this and that and whatever else it is, right? God made medicine too. It's people's intentions that differ, right? But that's what the word means. That's where that came from. And that's where it comes from. So just saying that to say, these are just things, right? All right. So to say you can't change is not correct. To say that your salvation has to come with the sun already shining is not correct, right? It can come from the darkest times, the darkest caves. You can change, you can grow, you can become whatever you want to be from where you are right now, right? So who knows, who's familiar with the car Lamborghini?
Everyone might be.
Okay. Who knows Who knows what Lamborghini made before they made cars as you know it?
There's
Say it again.
tractors.
Exactly, tractors. Tractors, you know, and who else made that? Lamborghini, and there's another car company. But they're not as they're Italian as well, but they're not as they're kind of making a little comeback, but
The Romeo thingy one?
Alfa Romeo, no.
Fiat.
Fiat.
Oh,
Both of these people made tractors originally. And Lamborghini made cheap, cost-effective tractors. So the guy became really famous for doing that. When he became really famous, he got rich and went and bought a Ferrari. But he didn't respect the way Ferrari's engine sounded and the way it was made. So he decided to make his own engine. And therefore, that's how Lamborghini became the car brand that we know it now. But originally, it was a tractor company. Right? All right. Who do you think? Well, I'll say it. These people made these three things. Toothpaste. What else did they make? Prosthetics. And toothpaste, prosthetics, and scissors. Who made these? Two.
Colgate. Oh, no.
Who? What'd you say?
Colgate.
Okay.
No, which, let me say, well, I don't even want to tell you. But, all right. The Egyptians.
oh,
Egyptians made toothpaste, prosthetics, and scissors. These are the first people to be given credit for making these things. Toothpaste, prosthetics, and scissors. Just some things to think about. Anything else I wanted to? I think I'll leave it there because today is about to get hot. About to get real hot today. All right. Quote of the day. This is not mine. Quote of the day. It'll be probably a little bit long for you to type, but watch the replay. Quote of the day. Man's chief delusion is his conviction that there are causes other than his own state of consciousness. Man's chief delusion is his conviction that there are causes other than his own state of consciousness. One more time. Man's chief delusion is his conviction that there are causes other than his own state of consciousness. Last one, give you one more. This is a quote as well, but I'm going to say it more in a statement form, but it's still a quote, and it's by the same person. Both of these are by Neville Goddard, who is my favorite, probably my favorite teacher of thought. Man's attempt to change the world by force is as fruitless as breaking a mirror in the hope of changing his face. Leave the mirror and change your face. Leave the world alone and change your conceptions of yourself. Man's attempt to change the world by force is as fruitless as breaking a mirror in the hope of changing his face. Leave the mirror and change your face. Leave the world alone and change your conceptions of yourself. when we go to high school or college, what is the lowest, as far as hierarchy, right? What is the lowest grade? What do you call those people?
Freshman,
Freshman. What is a freshman?
Ninth grader? I mean, I guess it, because at college is like the first level.
Okay. So,
Someone
yeah, so
new.
say it again.
Someone new.
Someone new. Okay. So first level. Someone new. New to what?
Well, and new to education,
What about fifth grade?
new to learning.
What about fifth grade?
You're new to
the
that
environment.
school. You're new to high school.
You're new to that particular environment. What is another way to say freshman?
Frosh.
Okay. What's another way to say that? Look at the word. What is it saying?
A newbie.
To what?
Being a man, I don't know.
Adulthood.
What is
Yeah, a fresh man.
what is a man?
Human.
What is a
human.
human? What is a human?
A person. A fresh human. A
What
fresh
is a
person.
what is a person?
A thing.
What type of thing?
A noun, personally.
Being.
I am.
A fresh mind.
No.
A fresh I am.
A fresh mind. When you meet a person, we've been talking about this for months. You're not meeting a person as you see it, the body, you're meeting a mind. You're meeting a body that within that body, in that head, there are a collection of thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. When you go to a new environment, it's a new opportunity for you to be a freshman, for you to be a fresh mind. Man does not mean male. Man means human. And human means male, female. That's what gender means. Gender is not a man-made construct. As ignorant people will tell you that, it's not what that means. Gender, the root word of gender is gen. Just like Genesis, right? Beginning. Gender, right? Just like gene. It's the beginning of something. That's not a man-made construct. That is a scientific thing. The person who said man is that male, female, that gender is a man-made construct was a guy named John Money. Look him up. I'm not going to go into it, but he said that ignorant stuff out of trauma in his own life. He was trying to separate himself from something. But you can't separate yourself from science, meaning knowledge, from the truth of something. You can't do that. It doesn't work like that, right? The truth doesn't care about your feelings. So man means human, means male, female. That's what human actually means. It doesn't mean male. It's talking about the collection of both of those groups, both of those two people, right? So when you're meeting a fresh man, you're meeting a fresh mind. So when someone is in ninth grade or someone's a freshman in college, why do you think you can tell half the time when they're walking around? Their eyes are open, they're looking around like, what is going on here? It's a new experience, right? You can tell from the people who have more of an experience or these new fresh minds. It's a new way. You have an opportunity to think differently because you are being exposed to a new environment. You can think differently, but you don't have to be in a new environment to think differently. This is just one of the easier times to do it because you're not looking at the same thing over and over and over. But that is what a fresh man represents. It's a fresh mind. It's new to an experience and it's having a new experience. And therefore it can be something different. Why do you think people go to high school and reinvent themselves? Why do you think people go to college and reinvent themselves? Why do you think people move away out of town and reinvent themselves? Because when you're new in it, when you are in a new environment, it gives you the opportunity to reinvent yourself, to have a fresh mind. But you don't have to wait to get into that to do it. But that's when most of us do. When we have a new job or a new car, I'm not going to eat in my car this time, I promise. Right? Or I'm not, right? We all have, when we're in new situations, it gives us the opportunity to be new, but we don't have to wait for that opportunity. We can create an opportunity to be new. If Walt Disney would have waited until he got his money right, he wouldn't have had 26 Academy Awards, the most out of anyone. If everybody would have waited for depression to be over, we wouldn't have had a car radio. We wouldn't have had a lot of other things, sliced bread and all kind of other stuff we had. If we wait, you can be what you want to be now. You don't have to wait. And too often we're waiting. Too often we're waiting. So let's get this party started. I started off nice, I try not to be too angry too quick. I got to warm up. I got to stretch first. I got to, warm it up. All right, here we go. All right. All right. So where do I want to start with this? I'm going to start it with this. For all of us here, what did we come here with? What did we come here with?
Nothing.
Okay.
A body?
Oh, yeah. But yes. Yes. Okay. But so meaning all the things that whatever desire we have in our life right now, did we come with that in our hand? What did we come with?
An open mind and a willingness to learn.
Okay.
Curiosity?
Okay. So let's just say you want a car. Did you come with that? If you want a house, did you come with that?
No.
If you have a business or you want one, did you come with that?
No.
Desire?
Okay.
The ability.
Okay. Did you come with it?
No.
Okay. Are you going to leave with it?
No.
Okay. So we came with,
Nothing.
we leave with,
Nothing.
so then what's the point of being here?
To enrich the rest of the story, not for ourselves.
Okay.
To,
Who
to-
else?
to live in the now, we're here now, so live in the now to be fruitful now until
Okay.
we're gone.
What constitutes fruitfulness? How do you know if you're being fruitful or not?
When others are benefiting or being saved, when we're multiplying,
Okay. How do you know you're multiplying?
you'll see it.
A
You'll
lot of
see the
people,
fruit of that. You'll see the
You'll
fruit
see
of that
abundance in
later.
okay. What is fruitfulness? What is abundance? What is that?
Plenty.
Plenty. What is that?
More.
What is more? Can you, what is that?
It's not quantifiable. It's just
Whatever.
like
It is not quantifiable. So that means it's something else though. You're saying it's not quantifiable because in your sensory realm, there's no limit. That's correct.
Right.
But that's correct because it's not that. It's something else. What is it?
When
State of mind.
you're the,
a state of being.
A state of being. It is an experience. You came here for an experience. You came here for an experience. All the physical things that you get, your car, your business, your this, your that, those are all physical things for what you would call the physical you. But with each one of those physical things you got, what came with that thing you got? With that physical thing, what came with it?
Experience.
Or an experience.
Yes, the experience, but what lets you know that you got the experience you wanted?
The feeling I feel
The
when
feeling.
I'm doing this.
The feeling. The feeling is just as invisible as you are. That's what you got. What you call yourself, your name, your body, got the thing, got the business, got the car, got the relationship, got the money, all the physical things that's for the physical apparatus of you. The feeling of those things is for you. That's why you can't take anything physical with you, because that was never the point in the first place. Every physical thing that you want is for the feeling of it. It's not actually for it. But in your highest level of thinking, you wanted to make sure your body got something for its help, right? You gave, like, here, take this car, you'll like it. Here, but you take the car, I'll take the feeling of the car. You take the money, I'll take the feeling of wealth. All of the feelings I get are reflections of the experience I wanted. So when I leave here out of this body, I leave the body, the money, the cars, the home, but I take with me what?
My experience?
Your experience and your experiences. So then what is it then that you should be focused on when you're here?
Your experience, Coach Lucky.
Your experiences. What is it you want to experience? Your experience, you can use the things to get your experience. You're saying, I want to experience wealth. Okay, well, I'll have some money, or I'll win the lotto, or I'll be an investor, or whatever else it is. I want to experience love. Okay, well, then I'll have a relationship, or I'll get a dog, or I'll do whatever that is to you. But everything you're doing is for the experience. You're using the thing to focus yourself on making that become a part of it. So it's like, okay, I want to experience love, so now I'm going to look for this. Or I want to experience money, or wealth, so I'm going to use money, or I'm only focusing is to get my attention to focus on something, so that I can now get the physical reflection of that, which now says, oh, okay, here's my experience. You can have the thing, Natasha, but the being that makes Natasha alive keeps the feeling of it. You get the thing, I get the feeling. They're both happening in the same being, but you're taking one, I'm taking the other. You care, as Natasha, you care about the money. The being that makes Natasha alive cares about the feeling of wealth. She wants the feeling, like, yeah, I'm out here. Natasha wants to be able to count it in her hand and see it in her account. The physical validates everything by physical. That's rational. It's reasonable. The physical validates everything by physical. The true you is not physical, so it doesn't need physical validation. It needs invisible, non-physical validation. It needs all the emotions that you feel having the experience or experiencing what you want. So think about if you approached everything from, what type of experience am I really looking for here? What am I really trying to get here? This thing, whatever it is you're pursuing, only does if it's correct, meaning if it matches up truly with what you're saying, it will only ever be the physical reflection of your experience. But the physical reflection, the reflection comes second. The physical comes second. So which thing do you think you should actually be pursuing to actually make sure you get the right thing?
The unseen.
Say it again.
The unseen, what we can't see.
Which we call what?
Experience.
The experience. What do you want to experience? That's what you came here for. You didn't come here for a cell phone. You didn't come here for a car. You didn't come here for a home. You didn't come here for that. Those things can reflect your desired experience. They can physically reflect what the feeling that you would have. That is the experience that you really want. The body just gets a reward for participating, called money, called a car, called a home. Do you understand that? If you focus on your experience, you may be surprised that what you're led to or what you pick is different than what you thought. If you'd be surprised how much things change. The color might change. Where you get it might change. What you get might change. Because it doesn't matter whatever it is you get, it's still supposed to reflect the same thing, which is your desired experience, the feeling you get from having it. So it doesn't matter what you get if it does not dwell up or draw up that feeling. It doesn't matter what you got. It doesn't matter what you got if it does. So what you're really chasing here, so to speak, what you're really trying to do is you're trying to have an experience. That's what you came for, because that's the only thing you can take with you. You are not visible. The things you want are not visible. The way you want to feel, the experiences you want to have are not visible. They can be reflected visibly in this thing. This thing represents me. Just like the ID on your, like if you have a job or you have a driver's license, it's not you, it just reflects you. It's a physical reflection of who you are. So people can look at it and see you. Well, guess what? I can look at your life and see you. I can look at your life and see you. I don't mean in judgment or criticism anymore. If I look at your ID and look at you like they do at TSA, and look at your ID and look at you. It's not judgment or criticism. They just want to make sure they match. I can look at your life and see you. You can look at my life and see me. We're not talking about judging or criticizing. We're just saying you are the physical reflection of your experiences, whether they are good or bad, so to speak, meaning whether they are what you want them to be or what you don't. But most of ours are not what we want them to be or what we don't, because we're not consciously picking what we do or what we want them to be. Because we're chasing things, hoping they lead us to the feeling, instead of actually chasing the feeling, meaning saying, what do I really want to experience? If I got this thing, how would I feel? If I got this thing, what experience am I actually trying to have here? Because the physical is only a reflection of it. And if you actually choose your experience, like, I don't mean saying exactly what's going to happen every minute by minute. What I'm saying is your experience. What do I want to be or do or have? I want to be wealthy. I want to be healthy. I want to be happily and blissfully married. I want to have great relationships. I want to have children. I want to live in New York. Whatever those physical things are, they're nothing but an experience. And those experiences either match the feeling you want to have or they don't. But a lot of times, because we're chasing the physical things, we hope that once we get them, they will turn into the feeling that we really want. And when we get them, they won't half the time. You're like, man, I got a relationship and this is kind of whack. Well, it's not, the relationship is not necessarily whack. You just might have picked a person who doesn't accurately reflect what you want. But if you don't identify what you want your experience to be, if you're not willing to think that and figure out what it is I really want to experience, you'll pick something, but not necessarily get what you want from it. So you got something, but not what you wanted. But if you identify the experience properly, you'll never pick the wrong thing, ever. You'll never pick the wrong thing, ever, ever. Nobody's ever driven by Disneyland and thought it was the airport. Nobody's ever made that mistake, right? And we make all kinds of mistakes. Nobody's ever made that one. Even your kids that are 5 sitting in the back with their feet kicking, ready to get out, be like, yeah, I don't think that's it. Right? If you pick the experience, you'll always pick the right physical reflection, because the physical reflection is the reflection of your experience. So if you start with your experience, what it is you want to experience, you'll always pick the right thing. God, that is you. The experience is God. That is you. That is who you really are. That's really what you're going for. Here's your experience. The physical things is for the human experience. It's for your human physicality. But that's why, but humanity, how many mistakes do we make all the time? I thought, oops, I meant, my bad, uh-oh, right? How many times do we do that? We do it constantly, because we're trying to make decisions sometimes out of a limited capacity. We're just doing the best we can with what we know, right? But our higher mind, like we've been talking about, doesn't make that mistake, because it knows everything. It doesn't need to make a mistake. You know 2 + 2 is 4. You don't need to make that mistake. You don't need to make that. There's nothing to learn from saying 5. There's no valuable life lesson. God didn't test you. You just said the wrong answer. But when you know when you are operating in that higher mind, like 2 + 2 is 4, you'll never say 5. There's nothing in you that would ever make you think it was 5. So when you identify the experience you want, what am I really trying to get from this thing that I want? What feeling am I trying to get here? What does this represent to me? When you identify that, not in justification, you don't have to justify anything to yourself. You don't have to explain things. What do you want? What do you want? Whatever it is you want is because of the experience. It's because of the feeling. And I don't mean just the emotion. I mean, it's the awareness of being. This thing that you are pursuing, this physical thing, is really nothing but to help you focus your attention on something as God so that you can have the experience. You're using this thing to motivate you, to turn your attention to it. That's what you're using. You're using the thing. Your desire is no different than a fork. You're using it for something. And to be candid with you, you're using everything, including people. The way people say, oh, it's not good, but you're using people because you are using them to have the experience you want to have. Just like you're using a fork to have the experience you want to have with food. You're using a person to have the experience you want to have of love, whether it's a sibling, family member, whether it's a relationship, it doesn't matter. You're using everything. But we're not using it properly because we're not identifying the experience. We're trying to identify the thing, and the thing doesn't always lead to the desired experience. It doesn't lead to the feeling necessarily. So you can go that way, and most of us do because we physically go after things physically, but in our limited mind, we don't know what this thing is going to be like. So you picked a person, you wanted to get married, you picked a person, and they died 2 weeks later. You didn't know that. You didn't know that was going to happen to them. But if you say, you know what, I just want to be happily and blissfully married. I know the experience I want. And you roll with that experience, it's going to lead you right to the person that's going to lead to a happy, blissful marriage. Probably dying 2 weeks later is probably not going to cut it. But that higher mind knows who this person is, knows who that blood pressure is, knows if they look when they cross the street, they know who this person is. Your higher mind knows who everyone is because it is the same mind, just believing itself to be different forms. There's only one consciousness. There's only one mind. Believing itself to be 1,000 million, 8 billion people, but it knows who that is. So if you choose your experience properly, this is what I want to be, not this is why I want to have it. I don't mean in justifying it. I don't mean that. I mean in making sure that this is really what you want. And if you do that, then that experience, that awareness will lead you to the physical thing that represents the feeling you want to feel. God wants to feel something by having an experience. So if you act like God by choosing an experience for the feeling you want, then you'll pick the physical thing that will lead you that accurately reflects that. Every time. You will never miss, ever. You want to be perfect? This is how you do it. Pick the experience you want. I'm going after this thing because it's going to make me feel. Okay, however I feel, whatever my experience is, does this accurately reflect what I want it to be? Yes, okay, I want to feel that. I want to do that. Okay, cool. So then now I'm that. I now am wealthy, or I now am healthy. I want to have the experience of health. Okay, I want to have the experience of wealth. I want to have the experience of success. I want to have the experience of ease. I want to have the experience of peace. That experience has a feeling that goes with it. And those two, right? Experience is the father and feeling is the mother, and they have a physical reflection, which you would call money, health, car, business, whatever else it is. The physical thing is the outcome of the marriage between these two things. Of your higher mind and your human mind being on the same page. They are not opposed to each other. People think you go, oh, this is how you trick your mind. This is how who wants to be tricked? How does that, when did that ever become a good thing? So to speak, right? Yeah, we hide vegetables and things so our kids eat it. We do, right? But we're not trying to trick them. We're just being a little wiser than they are right now. But like genuinely, who wants to be tricked into something? You don't have to trick your human mind. You have to learn how it works and how to work it with your higher mind so that the two become one. That's why we have a hard time getting things, because we're in conflict all the time. And a double-minded mind, didn't mean human, a double-minded man, a double-minded mind is unstable in all its ways. Let it not think it will receive anything from the Lord or the law. Yes, no, maybe so, you're still in the same spot. So if you want to know how to get anything and make sure that it's right every single time and not have to worry about it, choose the experience. What do I want? What am I trying to get here? What is this really for? Figure out what it is you're really trying to experience, what it is you're really trying to feel, not just emotionally, but become aware of, being aware. I am this thing. You're all aware of being something. Natasha, a business owner, Kari, Alberta, all of you, Karen, you're all aware of being the names that I just said. You're aware of that. That's why you're having the experience. Your awareness creates the experience. Your experience doesn't create the awareness. It doesn't work that way. It works the other way. You are what you are because you are what you are. Yes.
Head Sparkle Bailey.
Coach Lucky, my stomach is growling over here. It's a little nervous. Giving me the bubble guts right now because I'm over here like understanding everything you're saying is I lived this.
Mhm.
And at some point, I don't even remember when, I have to think about it, but at some point I stopped manifesting and stopped experiencing exactly what I wanted because I realized I had the ability to attract everything I wanted. The formula you just gave, I lived that formula, but I got to a point where I don't know if I was used to doing things the wrong way. And I just was so used to that my whole life that I needed to feel that normal. That energy is like, that's the norm, failure, missing the mark, things like that. I don't know if realizing my power was so new to me and such a shock to me that I was actually getting the things that I was imagining. I was dreaming, I deserve these things, I deserve these experiences, blah, 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 to where the point where I was met, even today, as you're speaking, I'm sitting here like, okay, and I asked for this, I wanted this, I positioned myself for this, and I attracted this, and now it's in front of me. Now what you gonna do? It's in front of me. So it's so surreal because it happens all the time, and it's very surreal, and it's almost like freaky, like, whoa, like I really am in control of all of this. It's like a really huge realization, and it's uncomfortable. And hearing you talk about it, it's like making my stomach hurt for real. Like I'm over here like, I don't have XYZ because I haven't positioned myself for XYZ, but I can have it today. I can have it right now. It's just me. I don't have it because sometimes like I saw a post the other day that says like, I'm not scared of you, I'm scared of me.
Mhm.
Because of like, I know my capabilities and my strengths and my powers, and I'm still learning how to do this dance. Like I'm still learning how to do this dance properly because everything I've wanted, I've pretty much gotten. And that's a little weird because we're used to trauma and failure. I don't even know what I'm saying. It's not really a question. It's just more like I'm kind of freaking out a little bit and I just want to communicate through the moment.
Yeah, right. Good. Well, if you look at any movie and you look at any like Spider-Man, Batman, all them other things, right? Any superhero movie, if you look at them, they all feel weird, crazy, lonely. They feel strange because they have figured out that they are something that they look around and don't see anybody else being. Spider-Man didn't be like, oh, you're Spider-Man too? Oh, you're Batman too? There's one Spider-Man. There's one Batman. There's one Aquaman. There's one of something, right? Well, you are one of something. All of you on this thing are one of something. And what happens is you look around on a day like today and you realize, wait a minute, I'm far more than I thought I was. You realize you're Batman, Wonder Woman, Spider-Man. You realize you're this superhero. And you look around and you don't see anyone else who's saying the same thing or looks the same thing. So it feels weird. It feels lonely. It feels scary. It can feel isolating because you realize you're different than what you thought you were. You're different than everyone else around you that you can see at least overtly, right? And so you're sitting there thinking, well, what does this mean? Well, how does this work? Well, and so you have to figure out how to use this superpower that you have that no one else is using. And so it can make you feel a certain type of way. But the reason you feel that is because it's the only way you'll ever be what you really are. It's the only way you'll ever be what you really are.
But how
Can
do
you
you
imagine Spider-Man never being Spider-Man? Imagine Batman never being Batman. What is Batman going to work at Walgreens instead? What is Spider-Man going to do? Work at the zoo instead? Like, what would this person be if they didn't become what they really are? What are you all of us? When I say you all, I'm talking about me too. What are we all going to be if we're not who we really are? What are we going to be instead? Does anybody have a better idea?
miserable? Miserable.
Isn't that what most people are when you look around?
That's my question. This is okay. Here's the question. Thank you for all of that. Here's the question. How do you get past the person, and how do you like forgive yourself and get past the person you were when you didn't know any better, when you didn't know your power? How do you move past that person in order to fully embrace the God?
It doesn't make any sense. Why would you punish yourself for something you didn't know?
It's the norm. It's like it's weird, but it's the norm. It's
But
like
that's normalization does not mean normal. What everyone does. So they're gonna jump off a bridge. You gonna jump off a bridge too? Yeah, you know how people, right? You know how we do that, right? Yeah. Normal people normalizing things never makes it normal. That's why we go through all these definitions at the beginning of class, or that's why we go through all these different facts or history or whatever else it is, because we'll see that a lot of people we think we're always doing it, weren't always doing it. Things that came out of the worst, darkest times of life are things that we use now in so-called good living, right? Or all these different things. It doesn't matter what you were. It only matters what you want to be now. The only person to punish you is you, and you're already doing that, and you've been doing it, and the only person to free you is you. If you're unwilling to do that, no one else can do it for you. That's number one. If you're not willing to do it, there's no one else can do it for you. Number two, you in particular, you have kids. If your kids made a mistake because they didn't know something, are you seriously going to say, I'm not going to forgive you for that?
right.
So then if you would forgive someone else, how come you can't forgive you? And whatever love you gave them is only because you have it. So how do you have enough love for them, but not enough love for you? That is not, there's no way with that equation to win. It's just not a winning equation. It's never going to get better, right? The reason you made a mistake is because you didn't know. That's all. But how do you know God forgave you? Meaning, how do you know your higher mind doesn't care? Because you keep thinking your desires. You keep thinking the things that are greater than what you are right now. But what you are is always great. What you're expressing may not be. Your kids are always 16, but they're not 2 years ago. They grow into it, right? But they're always, everything that's happening is already happening. Everything is already going on. We're just, as we rise in mind, we have different expressions as our awareness clicks on. Aha, oh, that's what that is. Then that thing clicks on in our life. So I'm saying that to say to you that if you can forgive your kids, forgive yourself. If they didn't know, you don't punish them. If you didn't know, don't punish yourself. That is a human construct. Humans believe in punishment and regret, shame, fear, and all the other stuff. And it's so normalized that people will say it's normal, but it's not normal. It's not normal to be that. It's not normal to be sick. It's not normal. That's not, God is normal. Humanity's ratchetness and ridiculousness is not normal. It's just normalized. Look at all the behaviors that are normalized in society now that 50 years ago, 20 years ago, we wouldn't have, they'd been like, what? Look at how Martin Luther King dresses and all them people back in the day, and look at what we wear, most of us wear now. Right? It's no, that was normal back then. Now we're changing it into something else like it's always been this. It hasn't. Right? So we may have didn't know something. That's part of our human condition. That's what makes this game that we're playing called life worth playing, is all the so-called winning and losing. But ultimately you always win because you never die. Right? So forgive yourself and move on, just like you want your kids to do. Move on. You're the only one who can do both. And until you do, you will not live the life you can and you should. And there's no value for being something you can't, you should not be. There's no reward for that. You are the rewarder. So you're punishing yourself instead of rewarding yourself. You can't get away from yourself. Right? So, yeah.
This is why we need to do classes during the week, because these reminders, and I got my email, by the way, Coach Lucky, shout out to you. I got my email, I signed up. This is why we need these reminders during the week, because the conditioning is the powerful part, that when you have the toxic teachers, and they don't always know that they're toxic. Parents don't always know that they're toxic. Yeah. But when you have those, Bible school moments, or those, adult moments, where the adults are in charge and they're teaching you to feel guilty, let's point at this person and let's throw stones at this person. And that happens for 10, 20, 30 years. we need messages like this on a regular basis throughout the week so that we can remember our value and come back out of, that grave. So thank you times infinity. Thank you, Coach Lucky.
You're welcome. My honor and pleasure. And yeah, we'll talk about that, the class tour at the end of the class. We'll talk about the class at the end of the class. But I think somebody had a question, because I'm now going to dovetail from what you said into something else. But I think somebody had a question. Somebody's hands up.
Renette had her hand up. You're driving though, be careful. Let me see if I can ask you.
Yeah, hi, I'm sorry. I put my hand down because I got so emotional. And as Sparkle Belly was talking, I'm going through things where I have this class on Saturdays, and I have other new communities that are help building me up and helping me be aware of who I am. At the same time, I have my family, like they're so close. It feels like you have to, it's like the question is, what do you do to keep you where you're supposed to be when you have people around you that you really can't get rid of? Can't get them away, you can't get away from them. They're your family. When they are so opposite. I mean, they say things and then you have to block it. And then it's like, I keep going backwards in my head, and I don't know how to stay there.
Okay, wonderful. We talked about it a couple weeks ago. Number one, keep running. So what happens is when you are running the race of life, everybody starts off at the same time, so to speak, but everybody can't keep up. When you decide you want to be something, you decided what you wanted to be. And you keep running, and everyone else who doesn't want to be what you want to be and who can't be what you can't be, who can be what you can, because see, when you're like we talked about a couple weeks ago, when you're running that marathon and you see the same people winning every week, those people have conditioned themselves to win. They didn't just show up that day at the race. So even though everybody's starting at the same time, everybody's not running the same race at the same pace. And when you've conditioned yourself to run at a pace, when you keep running, everybody else is not going to be able to stay with you. They'll fall off. They'll just drop off because they can't keep up that pace, right? And your conditioning and the way you run is because of a decision and choice you made. So number one, keep running. That's half of it. The other half is this. You are not changing other people by trying to change other people. You are changing the way people present themselves to you in your life by changing yourself. When you change who you say you are, that is a different person that is experiencing a different lifestyle than the one you say you are now. So what you really don't like is only showing you an aspect of yourself that you need to change, not because it's bad or good, but because it will be more reflective of what you want your lifestyle, the thing outside of you, to look like. So your life outside, it is called your life because it's yours. It is yours because it is a physical reflection of you. So if you want to change it, you have to change you. By changing you, you change yourself into a different person who has the same, even if it's the same people, will show up differently in your life because every physical thing is showing up according to who you are. So when you change you, the things outside of you change. You go from being unemployed to employed. You go from wanting a job to having it. You go from wanting a promotion to getting it. You go from this to that. But whatever that is a reflection of you. Right? Because it's your life. So your means you. So whatever you are, your life is a physical reflection of you. So when you change you, your life has to change. It's not optional. It's not personal. It's not emotional. So I'm going to go into your question in a longer way. All right. All right. You have God, Lord, and law. What are these? What do these have in common? God, Lord, law. What do these have in common?
Like they're true and they are concrete.
Okay. Okay. Who else?
They are
God.
things that you may adhere to based on your beliefs.
Okay.
Consciousness.
This is the Trinity. What does that mean? It means all three of these things look individually different, but they're all one thing. They're all one thing. They are all one thing. God, I am. Consciousness. The Lord is the physical reflection of the law in action. The law is as a mind thinks, right? As a mind thinks what? What does it say? As a mind thinks,
So is
So is
So
he?
it's
according to your faith.
So shall you be.
So if it's your faith, you're talking about I am. If you're talking about the Lord is Kari. The Lord is Natasha, meaning the physical reflection of I am. The law is acting on the consciousness of that physical being. It's all one thing. You want to change your life, but you won't change your mind. You say, I can't do this. I can't be this. I can't forgive myself. I can't leave. I can't start over. I can't do this. Do you know how many people in life, if they would have stayed where they were, would never be people we knew? Do you know how many bankrupt people? Donald Trump went bankrupt 7,000 times and he was the president. Walt Disney went bankrupt and he has the most Academy Awards ever. And what do you say? He brings in over $1.5 billion a year and has, what is it, like 14 different amusement parks. And the cat went bankrupt. If people stayed as we were, you would never be able to become what you are. The law is no respecter of persons. It means the law, the action that is taken as a result of what you believe yourself to be, that is going to affect your physical world, is no respecter of persons. God does not violate its law. It doesn't violate its own law. You are not going to be what you're unwilling to think, to believe, to think you are. You are not going to be anything, whether it's so-called good or bad, until or unless you are willing to, what does the law say? Be you transformed. How?
By the renewing of your mind.
by the renewing of your mind.
By the renewing of your mind. So that means you are a freshman. When you renew your mind, you're a fresh man. You are a fresh mind. When you get a fresh mind, you get a fresh man. When you go to high school, don't you get to start over? Do you have the same grades that you had in middle school involuntarily? Don't you get new classes? Don't you get a new campus? A lot of times, some people have the same, but like if it's on the same campus, but you get a fresh start. Your grades are all, it doesn't matter what you did in middle school. You're starting fresh here. Doesn't matter what you did in high school. You're starting fresh in college. You are a fresh mind. You get to get a new life from having a fresh mind. You get a new experience from having a fresh mind, being a fresh man. God does not violate its law. You cannot think any way you want and get something you want. You have to think like you want. You have to think as you want. You have to think as the person who is this thing. That's why it says, be you transformed, be changed by renewing your mind. It didn't say anything about grinding, hustling, scamming, scheming, how many jobs you have, how long you can stay up, how much you can do this, how little sleep you can get, how much food you didn't eat. It didn't say by dieting, didn't say by fasting. It didn't say by being a vegan. It didn't say by smoking or not smoking. It didn't say any, all the things that humanity puts in as conditions that God does not and did not. And it will not get you there or prevent you from getting there. If it's not in the law, your own personal rules and rituals and traditions and customs have nothing to do with the outcome. You may think they do, and you may want to put them on in there for your own experience, but that has nothing to do with it. If you want to change your physical experience, you have to renew. You have to become a fresh man, human, mind, male, female, whichever one you want to take on all of it, you have to become new in your mind. You have to get a new concept of yourself or of that thing or of your relationship with that thing. That is a law. As a mind think, so is it. According to your faith, be it unto you. Go your way. Your faith has made you whole. Only your consciousness can do that. Only what you're aware of being can do that. And you are trying to get God to violate the law on the Lord's behalf. God doesn't violate its law. Why do you think we have gravity? that we can trust? Why do you think we have thermodynamics that we can trust? Sowing and reaping. Farmers are operating on laws, right? We're operating on laws all the time. God does not violate its law for you. God is not going to change your circumstance for you, and you're not willing to change your mind. God needs your mind to change your life. That's how God changes everything. God changes things in thought. It was dark. God said, let there be light. It was dark because God hadn't said, let there be light yet. So whatever you're not haven't said yet, whatever you are not willing to assume or accept or allow in your life, it will remain absent. Whether that is light, wealth, health, happiness, freedom, good relationships with your family. If you went to a store and there was a brown banana and you didn't want it, who here would pick that? Would somebody just say, well, just be grateful and pick it? Show gratitude? Would anybody say all these things? Would anybody say, oh, well, I'm forced. I've come to this store so many times. Would you tell yourself this story that because I've come, I'll take it? Or because I come here all the time, I'll take it? Or because I always get bananas, I take it? Why would you rationalize not getting what you want or not buying or buying something you don't want because of how long you've been doing something or something else? Why would you do that? Why would you say, because I've been suffering for so long, I should just keep going? Or because my family's always been this way, it should just keep happening to me? Why? Or because I've always been this way, then maybe I should just stay here. Why would you do that? You wouldn't do that with a banana, but you'll do it with your life. What kind of sense are we making here? What are we talking about here? You wouldn't condemn the family member necessarily. You wouldn't condemn the brown banana, but you wouldn't pick it. You wouldn't eat it. You would just say, look, you know what? I'm going to pick something else. But here's the thing. The reason we have a hard time is because we're trying to make them different before we're different. We have to change. We have to get a different concept of ourselves. So instead of saying, yes, okay, cool. I see this brown banana. I don't want that one. I'm going to pick the yellow. Okay, cool. I see this relationship. I don't want that. I want a different one. So now, how do I get a different relationship? Well, I'm going to define or describe myself differently. I now am the person who has a great family. All my family members love me. All of them respect me. All of them are so happy when they see me. All of them can't wait to see me. All of them are always calling me, asking me when I can come by or can they come by. All of them are just so kind to me and nice to me. All of them respect me and love me. You are now that renewing your mind, getting a new concept of yourself as it relates to this situation will allow your life to transform. You now become the person who has that relationship or those relationships. You cannot have those relationships if you're not that person. We cannot have that relationship with those people or that relationship with any fit. Those people are no different than money. People have bad relationships. People have bad relationships with money. They just call that broke. People have bad relationships with people. They just call that misery, right? Violence, war. It's just bad. People have bad relationships with their health. They just call that sick or involuntary death or any amount of diseases. But all physical disease is premeditated, is prompted by dis-ease, mental. It's all mental first. It's not all mental like it doesn't become physical, but it is all mental in creation first. It is a thought that you're having that must be physically expressed. That's why you have a body. Your body is the expression of your mind. It is the outward appearance of your inward world. And if you don't change your inward world, your outward appearance will remain the same. And that is why it is what it is now. God, the Lord, the law are one thing. It's only one thing. They seem like they're three, but they're only one thing. Your consciousness is God. It is the highest level of authority in your life. Consciousness. You can't do anything without God. You can't do anything without being conscious. Nothing. Okay, now you have the Lord. The Lord is the physical reflection of consciousness. It is the outward reflection of what you're consciously aware of, being, doing, or having. The law is what operates consciousness in the body. The body is a physical thing, just like money, just like health. If you want to change any physical thing, you must change your consciousness. You must change your relationship to that physical thing. When you look at your body in the mirror and you say you're fat, say you're looking old, say your neck is looking crazy, say you're got too many gray hairs, whatever else, when you're talking to it, understand you're talking to it. Just understand you're talking to it. When you're talking to it, understand you're talking to it. Understand what it is you're saying. But a lot of us don't understand what we're saying because we're not in the moment realize who's saying it. God is saying it. When you're talking to your body, I am is saying it. The highest level of authority is saying, this is what you are. You are old. You are fat. You are out of shape. You are broke. You have too many gray hairs. Oh, now you have these wrinkles on your eyes. Oh, now you're fat. Now you're overweight. Now you're this. Now you're that. And the problem with that is we think it's normal. It's not. It's just normalized to condemn yourself, to criticize yourself, to never say anything good to or for about yourself. That's called bragging. That is called being arrogant. That is called saying anything good about yourself is something else. But saying something bad about yourself, you're keeping it real. If you tell everybody how sad you are, everybody will listen. Let everybody say, hey, Kari, how you doing, man? Oh, man, I'm doing well. I did this, I did it. All right, man, well, I'll call you back. But if I call them and say, hey, how you doing? Oh, man, it's hard out here. Oh, man, you want to talk about it? If you want to get off the phone with somebody, tell them how good life is for you. They'll get off faster, boy. You'd have thought somebody that broke the phone. Yeah, they'll get off the phone with you so fast. Come on, man, tell the truth. But complain a little bit. Boy, they will make room in their calendar for you. They'll set it up like a child's play date. Hey, you want to talk about it? Hey, you want me to come over? Hey, you want to come through? Oh yeah, just because we have normalized losing. We've normalized ratchetness, ridiculousness. We've normalized failure, fail fast, fail up, fail high. People try to rationalize that. See, I almost threw the marker, but I'm not. People try to rationalize and normalize things. God doesn't fail. So how fast can God fail? How does God fail up if God is in heaven? Where in the hell else is God going to go if there's nothing higher than heaven? How are you going to fail up? I hear some of this stuff and I think to myself, people are really paying to listen to this. I'm like, man, I'm thinking, I'm like, you know what? I'm really hurting myself by telling the truth. If I just tell everybody a lie, I get rich in 5 seconds. Because everybody likes to believe the lie. Everybody, because you know why? Everybody believes the lie because there's so many people there with you. Everybody feels comfort in mass. Everybody feels comfort when there's a lot of people around that are stupid. Then everybody feels good about it. But if you're the only one telling the truth, boy, it gives you like, whoo, maybe I should just agree with these idiots, and then they'll let me in. Right? No, there is no, no. God, the law, and the Lord are one. They're one. God is not going to violate its law for you. What does it say? The law is no what? What is it? Finish that statement, somebody. The law is what? Is no what?
Respecter of character or respecter of man, something like that.
A respecter of, yes, one of the words. What is it? Respecter
Person.
of person.
Person.
Guess what? Guess who that person is that it don't respect?
You.
You, your feelings, your funky attitude, your funky ideas, your ridiculousness, your all, it doesn't care none of it. You want to do that? Good. Go ahead. How's that taste? How's that feel? You want to be depressed? Go ahead. How's that taste? How's that feel? It's not going to violate itself while you call yourself depressed and then think you're going to get the highest level of ideas and thoughts. How's that going to happen? It's not going to violate its law because you got an attitude, because you don't know better, because you're childish and immature. It's not going to violate that for you. If you want to be something, you have to be willing to step into that mind and say, you know what? I am that. I am this. This is what I am because this is how it works. It's no respecter of persons. That means all of you, your mind, your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs, your attitude, your gender, your whatever, your college, your neighborhood, whatever you think you have makes you something. The law don't care nothing about that. They don't care nothing about you, nothing about that. Do you have the answer or not? Are you thinking the way you should be or not? That's what you're going to get. That is the Lord. That is you, and you are the Lord. You are the consciousness in physical flesh. You are being governed. Your actions are being governed by what you believe yourself to be, God, right? And the law is operating. Kari's believing himself to be this. This is what he is. Yes.
Natasha said, if you can't say amen, just say ouch.
That's it.
Because I feel personally attacked. I don't know about y'all.
You know, that's it. And sometimes ouch is your way to amen. After a while, you get tired of being sick. You get tired of being broke. You get tired of being tired of whatever and all ever it is. So isn't enough at some point?
Sick and tired, sick and tired.
Don't you get tired of looking at bills and you like, damn, It's already that time. I just got one. But you, yeah, you left it on the table talking about you'll get to it. And now the next month then got to you before you got to that. Aren't you tired of that? Isn't that ouch? Well, we tired of that. We tired of ouch. We into amen now. We into so shall it be. We're into agreeing that we have more than enough. So God is not going to violate his laws for you. Your consciousness is not going to violate its laws. It doesn't produce, it doesn't promote, it doesn't protect, it does not preserve what it is, what's not there. So whatever you want to be in your life, you have to start saying that you are that. You have to start thinking you are that. You have to start assuming and accepting and allowing that you are that. You have to start saying it so that you'll see it. And I don't mean just verbally, and I don't mean emotionally. I mean becoming aware that this is what I choose to be. It's the only way darkness turns into light. God has to say something. You have to say something. And like I said, I'm not saying verbally. Do that too. I'm not saying feelings. Do that too. I'm saying feeling, singular. The awareness of being something. That's not an emotion. Your name is Natasha. Your name is Kari. That's not emotional. It's an awareness, okay? It is a feeling, meaning it's an awareness of being that you govern your life by, that you do everything you do by. Let me say this, and I'll get you, Monique. Let me say this real quick. Where is, let's just use the old school word before we got on here years ago. Let's get on the old school word. Where does God live?
In heaven.
In heaven. Has God ever left it?
Why?
No.
No reason
Right.
to.
So then, and in this physical world, heaven is what?
Supposedly elsewhere, but shouldn't be.
But okay, so what is it?
Above.
Above, okay, above what?
You talking about old school thinking or how we think?
How we think.
Oh, heaven is in the mind.
It's in the mind. It is above what?
Our normal way of thinking.
Which we call the what?
The human state.
The human mind.
Right.
Your higher mind lives in heaven. Kari lives here in the human mind, right? And the goal is to merge those two. As we mature, we rise up out of that mind. We resurrect out of the grave of our mind. So the word Calvary, right? That means Golgotha, which means skull. So when they say Jesus died on Calvary, yes, your physical body, the physical part of you is supposed to die in your mind and rise into higher levels of consciousness. That is heaven. It is above your higher mind. So if God is always in heaven, that means every decision you make should be from that higher state of mind, from heaven. God ain't never left. You don't want to leave that state of mind. You want to rise there and make every decision you make, because guess what? Heaven is where everybody wants to go. Heaven's where the party's at, right? Heaven's where all the peace is, all the everything else is, whether you want to talk about the old school mind or the new school mind. Heaven is the place to be, so to speak. Nobody's ever said it wasn't. Nobody's ever said, man, I got to heaven and, I really wasn't all that. Like nobody's, so whether it's the old school mind or the new school way of thinking we're talking about, so to speak, heaven is the place to be. Heaven is where God lives. Heaven is where faith lives. Heaven is where authority is. Heaven is where everything is. So you want to mature, rise in mind where you're making decisions like God from heaven, from your higher state of mind, where all the answers are, all the prosperity, the abundance, the health, all the resources are, where all of your victory lies, is in heaven. That's where victory was created. That's where victory resides. That is you. And that higher mind, that mind is in you. But you have to let it be. You have to allow it. You have to use it. Yes, Monique.
Okay, thank you, Coach. That was amazing. And I just wanted to share what works for me while I'm figuring all of this out is to act as if, literally pretend like a child. The apartment that I'm in now is upstairs from my mom. And when I was living with my mom downstairs, when this apartment was vacant, I used to come upstairs and talk to the door. I had keys. I didn't have a key to this apartment because it wasn't mine, but I would talk to the apartment with my keys and pretend I was opening the door. And I started buying dishes and I bought curtains and I would just talk to the door like, I can't wait to get inside of the apartment and set up my I pretended. And a few months later, I was in this apartment. So I just pretending works for me while I'm figuring all the things out and figuring out who I am, acting as if works. Thank you.
Absolutely. What does it say in the book? Unless you become like a child, you can't what?
Enter the gates of heaven. Enter the gates of heaven.
Here it is. You can't get to your higher set of mind with your funky attitude, with your credit score, with your I'm in a fraternity, I'm in a sorority, oh, I went to Stanford. You can't get in there with all of your great ideas. You can't operate anything there. And that higher part of mind, it's what do I want and how do I want it? That's it. Isn't that what kids tell you?
Yeah.
They wake up, don't even say good morning to you. Can I have some cereal? Right? Walk right by you. Can I have some eggs? Walk right up to you and just, yeah. Right? Kids are all about like, hey, this is it. Right? That is how you're supposed to be when you go to your higher mind. You know, can I have some cereal? And you know what? Can I have? I want some of that organic milk. Yeah, I want this. Can I have some strawberries too? That's what kids do. Who else are they supposed to ask but you? Who else are you supposed to ask but your parents? Who's supposed to love you more than your parents when you're a kid? Who's supposed to love you more than your higher mind? Who is supposed to do that? Who's supposed to love you more than God? That's your higher. Who does? No one can. It's not possible. It's impossible. M meaning separate from possible. That's what M means, separate from. Immature, separate from maturity. Impossible, separate from possibility. Right? To be separated from. So when you say, I want to be something, you're a child asking your higher mind, asking God, asking your higher self, the version of you that you really are. Hey, in physical form, I want to have, this is what I want to have. This is what I want to be. This is what I want to do. Its answer is always, yes, go ahead and do that. You're like, cool, yeah, yes. You sure? Yeah, cool. All right, I'm that now. And you walk around. Well, how do you know? My higher mind told me so. God told me so. That's what I am. This is what I am. This is what it is. This is how it is. So when you're imagining that, what is imagining? Right? Running, playing, verb, action. So then imagining, that means what are you doing? You're imagining. That means you're believing something. You are seeing something. You are predicting something. You are previewing something. You are previewing it and using this action of mind to see it out. And all things start in the mind, which means the action, the outcome has to be based on whatever it is you're imagining. The movies, what do you, I think they call them actors and actresses. How come your stuff is weird, but on the movie theater, it's not weird? They're acting just like you're acting. They're just playing a script and a role, believing who they self to be. When you don't have something and then you went up to that apartment, you decided that you were something else. You were playing a role. Don't we believe it when we go see it on the movie theater? Don't we pay for it? Don't we sit there for 2 hours and laugh with it, cry with it, boo it, be mad and laugh or whatever? It's just acting. But for those 2 hours, it's real. When you did that, what you did, you doing that is real. That's how God does everything. It thinks and it's so. Humanity waits to see it to say it's so. But humanity, that's real, that's right, because humanity is second. God is first, physical second, non-physical is first. This order of operations, just like math. Right? It's all, you always are imagining ahead of your evidence. It's evidence. That means it is the outcome of something happening. You are the income. You are the starter. The outcome is a result of the income. As above, so below, as within, so without. What you see that comes out or that is in your physical world is a reflection, a physical reflection. It is not creation, it is created. In your physical world, in our physical world, you are not creating anything. All you're doing is at best assembling. You're putting together physically what you've already seen in your mind. That's all you're doing. So therefore, there's nothing you can't do. With an idea, you can do anything. And with the idea, you do everything. Now, so that's not voluntary. What is voluntary is what idea you hold of yourself or of this thing or of these people or whatever else it is. But if you want to change your life, you have to transform. If you want to transform your life, you have to renew your mind. If you want to transform any area of your life, you have to renew your mind as it relates to that area. You have to have a different thought, because the only thing that is happening in your life is what you're thinking. And I don't mean passively or intermittently. I mean what you're believing to be true. God does everything from heaven. God ain't left. You shouldn't either. You should, as Monique said, you should start going upstairs now. You should start knocking on the door, seeing how you can get in. Hey, let me in. If you need a paper clip or something, see if you can jimmy the lock. See if somebody walks by, can you catch them, flag them down, do something, figure out how to get in, open up. Yes, hello, wake up, somebody get up, let me in. Hell, even if you got thrown in jail in heaven, it'd be better than the one down here, right? I'm sure they probably have nicer gold bars or something, but break in. Do what you have to do to get to that higher part of your mind and stay there. Make all your decisions from there. That's what acting like a child means. It means you get to say, whatever I can think, I can have. So let me start thinking. Let me start thinking. I had a couple people reach out to me this week, tell me some incredible news about how they decided something and it happened. And I told several people that was awesome. And it made me very happy. Very, very happy. That's honestly the best thing you can do for me is that. It's saying, hey man, I listened to your crazy self for a couple weeks and look, through all your ranting and raving and sweating like some kind of Southern Baptist preacher, I actually tried a couple things and look. That's the best thing you can do for me ever.
While throwing the marker.
Yeah. Guess what? I got my own marker too, right? I'm throwing my thing on people. That's it. Yeah. You'd be like, you know what? Don't let me, you know what? Right?
That was funny.
That's it. Yes, right? That's what it is. That's what I want for all of you. That's what I want for all of us, right? To realize that. Okay. All right. LeBron James. Forget whether you like him, love him, forget whether you like sports or not. I'm using that name because I'm sure everybody at least knows who that is. Okay. LeBron James. If you were, let's just say you wanted to go see him play. Let's just say you did, for the sake of this conversation. You wanted to go see him play. What? So listen carefully what I'm saying. You went to go see LeBron James play. You're like, oh, he's coming to town. I'm going to see him play for whatever reason. You want to see him play. Here's my question. I'll put it on the board. So you're going to see him play and you're paying. What are you paying for?
Experience.
Okay, you're paying for the experience. What are you experiencing?
A show.
Okay. Who
Some
else?
excitement.
What are you
Excitement,
Huh?
joy, excitement.
Joy.
Yeah.
Okay. What are you experiencing?
Live, you get to watch something live in person.
You guys are such magnificent failures.
You're on the
You're
sideline. On the
You're
sideline.
experiencing a feeling.
Just so bad.
You're experiencing
Listen,
a feeling.
why? So this is for all you entrepreneurs, because I know most of you are on here. You want to get paid? This is how you get paid. What are you paying for? Listen, what are you paying for?
To be in the room.
To see him, to see the great.
Say it again.
To see him, to see one of the greats he's been talked about.
One word. What did you say? What's this one word?
See.
Him.
Him.
See.
You are paying for him. You are paying for him. Now, so if you're paying for him, what does that say about him?
He's
He
valued.
commands that.
Okay. He demands that. Okay. What, anything else?
He's valuable. He knows his value.
Okay. So he's valuable. So you're paying him because he's valuable. He knows his value. If he knows his value, who decided his value?
We did.
He did.
He did.
He did. So why in see almost see
Don't throw it
see
in.
I almost
Don't curse, Coach Lucky. Don't curse.
I don't know what was going to happen. There was a lot of things happening at one time. It was vomit, diarrhea. I had to go to the bathroom. It was everything happening at once. So I didn't know where to go with it. I just had to hit the brakes. So why would you let anyone tell you that the marketplace determines your value?
Because we be tripping sometimes.
Why would you let anyone tell you that? We just walked through this process and would we agree that we just walked through this process and that could not possibly be true?
Sometimes your mind play tricks on you.
So it's not playing a trick on you, it's lying to you and you allowing it. Trick or treat ain't no trick. You know you going up to the thing to get some candy. You know that. Ain't nobody fooled here. You dressed up, you know it's Halloween. No, you are finding a way to make it not your responsibility. Finding a way to say, well, if it doesn't work out, it's because society wasn't ready for me or my invention, or take me as I am, or if you don't love me how I am now, then don't accept me. All this, come on, let's do that. Let's just go through the whole situation.
Personal attack.
Just the whole thing, right? You're going to see LeBron James. You are going to see him. And the him you like, meaning that's worth it. Well, the him, he decided who he was. You didn't do that. He didn't decide who he was for you. He didn't say, hey, Natasha, what do you think? Should I do it like this? Should I do it like that? You don't know. You never met him. You go to the game. You don't get no autograph. You go eat your little stale nachos and Coke and whatever else it is, right? They sell at the game, the old popcorn that they had from last season. They just recycled. I don't want to tell you guys that because I don't want anybody to get upset and everything like that. And then you walk out of the arena. So you didn't get to determine even what you liked. Think about what I'm telling you. You didn't even get to determine what you liked. So then he decided who him was. Him you found out existed and you liked it. So he determined what you liked. So if he determines what you liked and he got to determine who he is, why then? So then what is that telling you then?
Giving away too much power.
No. What is that telling you?
I can do the same thing.
You can do the same. And what is that thing?
Define how much I'm worth and who I am.
And the result of that is
and demand that. Huh?
Yes. And demand that from who?
From myself and from
From
others.
yourself. This thing, he and him affects you. But you are not involved in he and him. He and him, he decided who he was going to be, and that decision you saw as him. And that him is something that you liked. So all you saw was the outcome of him, but the he and the him that you ended up getting the outcome of, you had no decision in. So the he and the him is a closed loop. Your success is a closed loop. Your success expresses itself in customers, clients, and fans that like what you have decided about yourself. You want to know how to get paid? I'm telling you how to get paid. You want me? I'm telling you what to do. I don't normally do that or say I'm giving you the tool to do it. He and him, she and her is a closed loop. She has to decide who her is. Her is how she's described to the people she presents herself to. So she has to describe who her is. When she and her describe that, then her, or one on that, her comes out and says, this is who I am to everyone outside of that loop. That loop is going to see you as you created yourself. The fans have nothing to do with that. I've been to Laker games. LeBron ain't never looked for me after the game. LeBron didn't care what I think. LeBron didn't ask me for no survey. LeBron didn't say, what do you think about what I think? LeBron, hey, what'd you think about that shot I shot? He's not asking for your opinion. Pay your money and keep it moving, homie. And if you want to talk to me, you might get arrested or thrown on the ground. And people still doing it, buying jerseys, drinks, parking, tickets, and you don't even get to talk to the person you liked. You don't even get to talk to the person you paid for. So then how does the market determine your success? That is stupid, asinine, inane, ridiculous, and plain flat out wrong. It is incorrect. It is commonly thought, believed, understood, and agreed upon, and wrong. Just like a bunch of 3-year-olds think 2 + 2 is 9. The whole playground could think it. Any 5th grader would say, man, y'all crazy out here. What? I don't care if there's a playground of people who think it's 9. That doesn't make it correct. The market does not determine your value. The market only confirms your value or denies it if you don't believe you. It only confirms what you believe about you. Because you are presenting yourself to the market according to the value that was self-created. The market is only reflecting your vision and version of yourself that you have created. You have a vision, which is a version of you. And that version of you steps out to present itself to the world. And the world says, yes, you are a failure. Yes, you are a millionaire. Yes, you are struggling. Yes, you are sold out. I'm telling you, if you want to know how to run your business with your feet up, with your head not hurting, without stress, with fun, I'm making so much money, having such a good time, doing what I love to do. If you want, I am telling you how to do that. In this closed loop, he determines him. She determines her. What are you telling yourself you are? And in relationship to your business, that is whatever you come up with is what you present to the market. And the market says, yay and amen. The market never disagrees with you. It never disagrees with you. It's only confirming what you say. It's only confirming what you have come up with, because whatever you've come up with is what you presented to them. When you present a product of a car, to somebody said, no, you lying, this is a TV. Anybody do that? Okay, so then that means whatever you presented to them, they're agreeing with. Well, whatever you presented is what you made. And whatever you made is based on your version of yourself. And the version of yourself is based on your vision, which you are now willing to, like you said, walk up the stairs and start assuming yourself to be something. This could be a much easier thing for you. This doesn't have to be that hard. It's hard for the immature mind that can't get into heaven, that won't act like a child, meaning saying, what do I want? I can have whatever I want. Let me pick it. The adult mind can't get into heaven. The one that's got all the reasons, the ration, the great, let me tell you about what happened to me and what had happened was, and let me tell you how long I've been, and let me tell you why I got to stay the way I am, and let me tell you, and let me tell you. Kids don't go into no long story. Mom, can I have some ice cream? They don't say because it's refreshing, and you know I'm not lactose intolerant. And you know at 2 o'clock, if I have the ice cream, it will really just make it just taste all that. Like they don't go into all this stuff you go into, that we as adults go into. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You don't have to do that to your higher self. You do that to the people outside of you because that's what they think they want. They want your blood pressure. They want a blood sample, DNA sample, credit. They want to know references. All the people outside of you want that. Your higher self, your higher mind doesn't want that. That's why you ask your parents for anything, because you don't got to go through all that to ask them for something. Go to the bank and ask for $2. They'll either tell you no, or you got to sit down and fill out an application. It takes so much time that even if you got the $2, you lost money. You go to your parents, Mom, can I have $2? I'm gonna pay you back. No intention of paying it back. They know you're not paying it back, but it sounds good right now. Right? Come on, man. I probably owe my mom some money. Too bad you're out of it. That's too bad, you know. But right, that's the whole thing, right? Is you when you ask your higher self, you don't have to go through all this stuff. You don't have to whine, cry, beg. You don't have to do that. What do you want? What do you want? It doesn't have to be that hard. It doesn't have to be that. Right? Keep it simple for yourself. What do you want? I want $2. What do you want? I want to have a successful business that's easy, making so much money, having so much fun, doing what I love to do. I want to make $10,000 a day. I want to have 3 rental car franchises. I want to have 3 rental car franchises and have enough time to do whatever I want when I want. What does that infer? That means you probably got some staff. Well, what does that infer? If you can do whatever you want, whenever you want, that means you got good staff. Decorate your vision. Decorate your desire. My mom and I talk about that all the time. Decorating your mind. Decorate your mind with the goodness of stuff, the way you decorate your house. Decorate the house of your mind. Most of our minds are more Spartan and bare than a prison cell. And wondering why I don't look good, smell good, and can't get any company. There's nothing appealing here. There's no reason to spend any time here. You can't wait to get out. That's why you can't wait to watch TV. That's why you can't wait to get on social media. That's why you can't wait to get on your phones. But I forgot, you're just doing business. You're just doing Instagram posts. You're not really scrolling. I know. Yeah, I just got to be on here because this is how I keep in touch with my family. Like phones never existed before this. And like you could never send pictures any other way but social media. But we're not going to talk about any of that right now because I'm not here to judge and you didn't hear it from me. Okay? But that's why you can't wait to get out of your mind, because there ain't nothing in here to stay for. I wouldn't. I'd be going as quick as I could too. Racing up out of there. There's nothing here. Decorate your mind. What do you want? And as a child, think about it. Most of us got kids or young people that are depending on us or near us or around us, aunties, uncles, and everything. They have no problem asking you for. They never say, hey, how you doing? Hey, how you feeling? How's your job treating you? Hey, your finances okay? Do you think that nobody cares nothing about that? They just be like, hey, that new PlayStation? I want to, can I get one? And can I get that extra controller? Now, there's this game coming out. Can you put that on? Get that. They don't have no problem racking up the bill.
They don't.
They don't have no problem with it. And you go to your mind like you some kind of pauper, like it's not even actually you. Your mind is actually you. You do know that, right? Do you guys, let me slow down. Let me slow the bus down. You guys do know that God is you, right? That your higher mind that we call God is actually you, right? So when you were a kid and you asked your parents who weren't even you, and you asked them for anything and everything like you were out of your mind, right? Which is what you should have done, right? That part was actually right. The kids are the only ones doing it right. That's why, unless you act like a child, you won't enter the kingdom of heaven. Because adults have too many hangups, too many applications, too many conditions, too many limitations, too many limiting beliefs. Boy, we got more baggage, I'm telling you, than half a city of homeless people. Your higher mind is you. You can ask for it whatever you want. Very simply, very quickly, very easy. Don't complicate it. So you went to go see LeBron James because LeBron, is what you like. Well, LeBron decided who he was to present him to you, and you paid for it. And he didn't do no survey. He didn't ask you if you were interested. He didn't ask you how much it should cost. He didn't ask you any of those things. You like it so much, you figure out how to get it. Well, people will do the same thing for your business. Once you decide who he or she is and who him and her are, once you decide who you are, that is what you present to the market. When you decide you're successful and it's easy, when you decide you always have more clients than you can handle, when you decide every one of those clients love you and love to refer other people who do the same, when you decide they can't get enough of you and everyone is coming to you, when you decide who you are, whatever you decide, you're presenting to the marketplace. So all the troubles you think you're having in your business, yeah, no, they're just reflections of you. And it doesn't mean even if you're in the right thinking that you won't have things, you just deal with them differently. You'd be like, oh no, everything is working for my eyes and that's good. Just because you know martial arts don't mean nobody ever wants to fight you. Doesn't mean people aren't stupid enough to try it. It just means you ain't afraid when it happens. You'd be like, man, do you really want to do this? I was watching something last week, and the guy was they're getting ready to get into a fight, and the guy said, okay, but do you have health insurance? I said, do you have health insurance? How far is the hospital from here? And the guy's like, what's your problem? He's like, I'm just asking because this is gonna hurt, and I just want to make sure you can get somewhere. And he ended up beating the dudes up and taking them to the hospital himself. Right? So the point is that just because you have someone opposing you doesn't mean it's actually opposition. Just because you have other people who do what you do, quote unquote, doesn't actually mean it's competition. Just because it doesn't mean that. That's just how you perceive it because of who you are. So when they wanted to fight him, he was like, man, are you sure? Have you thought this through? Have you thought this through? And he rolling with 3 or 4 of them in the back, dropping off at the ER. And he's the only one walking up out of there. Right? So my point is saying that how you present yourself to the world is how people treat you. And you're mad how they treat you, but you have given no thought to how you presented yourself. You're a nervous wreck all the time. You're anxious all the time. You're worried all the time. You're afraid all the time. That is what's going on in your consciousness. That is he that is now creating the him. That is she creating the her. That is what she or he is believing what they are believing themselves to be, that now shows up as him or her, that now shows up to the marketplace, and people either like it or not. They either buy the tickets to come see you or they don't. They buy your products or they don't. You have determined that. The market does not determine your value. You do. Now, physically, I understand what people are saying that, but it doesn't matter physically, because physically is always the effect. It's not the cause. Why do I want to keep dealing with the outcome when I can just control it from the beginning? Why do I ask my kids if I had multiple kids, why do I ask my kids what they want, and then they say something, and then I'm mad because they say it? I'm not cooking that. Why'd you ask me what I wanted then? Now they're in trouble for asking something you asked them. Right? It doesn't make any sense. So be the adult. Start at the beginning. This is what I want. This is how my business goes. This is who I am. This is how it works. This is how it goes. This is what it is. This. Well, the marketplace determines your value, and you got to give people value. Then you got to sell them with this. Then you got to trick them with this. Then you got to do $49.99 because 99 is less than 50. Yeah, I'm stopping all the cap. I mean, some of the cap is bigger than a sombrero. I don't even know how people wear it on their head and be able to walk straight. It's so crazy. They're looking like, was it Yosemite Sam, the dude with the guns blazing, the big old hat? Yeah, I mean, it's just like, good Lord, people need to walk around with a neck brace and a back brace because this cap is ridiculous. Della, I see your hand. Give me a sec. Let me explain something to you. Everybody thinks religion is a religion only. They think it's like God only, or Allah or Buddha. They think it's some kind of temple or mosque. Do you know what most people's religions are? The weather, TV, their friends, social media. They believe in these things being the dictator and author and finisher of their life more than the God they go to, whether it's in whatever religion it is. They have more gods than the God that they officially serve. I used to be afraid of the rain. How crazy is that? I used to be afraid of the rain because when I trained basketball and I was training outside, right? I'm like, well, I have all the kids I want to train now, and now it rained. Oh man, look how much money I missed. So I'd wake up every morning like some kind of psychotic looking at the weather, hoping it didn't rain. Then I said to myself, you know what? That's a brown banana. How can I change this? I said, you know what? Every time it rains, I get a new person. Well, that changed it up quick. Then I started looking for the rain like this. Oh. With it. I was looking for the rain like, come on. I was doing, I want to do a dance on it, whatever I could. I was looking for the rain. But because I changed my mind. I got something else. I'm like, well, this happens. I get to choose. So I'm going to choose this. Right? So anyway, Della, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, great presentation, by the way.
Appreciate it, sir.
So like where I am currently in my journey is like I'm like in the in-between mode. Like I know what I want. Practicing the mental exercises. I'm stepping into the mindset of already having what I want. However, it's the in-between mode, right? Of doing the work and then waiting for the physical effect of the work. It's like kind of like you're waiting for something. You're at a restaurant and you've made your request to the waiter, and then you're sitting there and I'm looking at my watch like, okay, when's the guy gonna come back with my food? Like that's where I am right now. So what would you say to continue the process of doing the mental exercises as well as putting in the work to receive what you want?
What do you want? Do you want it or not? If you go to a restaurant and you complaining about the process, well, what do you mean? I have to order? Then I have to talk to somebody? Then I got to wait for them? Well, I can't do all that. Well, then stay home. What do you want? Do you want to assume you are whatever you want to be and stay in that assumption until it comes into your life? Or do you want to stay without it? What do you want? There ain't no way to work around it. Ain't no way to go around it. This is the process. This is what it is. Do you want it enough to go through the process? Do you want enough to go to that restaurant, look at the menu, sit down, wait for the waiter, the waitress, order the thing, wait for them to come back with it? That's what it takes to eat out. If you want to eat faster, then maybe you stay home and make what you want. But you can't go out and then complain about not having the same type of experience as you would staying in. The process for out or in is the same. It is whatever it is. But you have the key then is to want what you want enough to go through what it takes to get it. But once you understand what the process is and that it's not personal and that everybody's going through it, and even bigger than that, that you're doing that and you've always done that with everything. See, you're not doing a different process, Della. What we have to understand is we're not doing a different process. What's different is you're consciously choosing what you want the outcome of the process to be. A baby goes to the restaurant and they got to wait for their parents to order and wait for their food, even if their parents order it for them. The only difference between the parents and the adult is the adult gets to pick, but they're both going through the same experience, the parent and the baby. The process is not personal. The process is the same for everyone. So now what you want to do is the reason you go to that restaurant is because the food is so good, you're willing to go through it. But you realize the process is not personal, so you're not really going through it, or everybody's going through it. Whether everyone is or no one is, it's not personal. So then put your feelings to the side. It doesn't matter. What do you want? And this is what it takes to get it. I want to be a millionaire. Okay, I'm now a millionaire. It didn't show up in 5 minutes. So then do you stop? Do you quit? Everything, the reason you are what you are is because you haven't quit. The reason you're still Della is because you haven't quit. The real you, not Della, the real you hasn't quit being Della. It didn't quit being Della when it rained. Okay. It didn't quit being Della when there was an earthquake. It didn't quit being Della when there was economy crash. It didn't quit being Della. It didn't quit being Della under any circumstances. That's why Della still exists. When you say I am wealthy under any circumstances, your wealth will never cease to exist any more than Della will. It's the continued insistence. But what we think is different here is we are now consciously choosing what we continually insist upon. And that seems weird, but kids do it. Dad, can I have some cake? 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 Don't they continually insist? Don't kids? Yes, because the kids know how to operate the kingdom of heaven. They realize I know what I want and I'm gonna keep saying it or asking until I get it, period. They call that in metaphysics, they call that like brazen impudence. It means, well, it kind of means one, not taking no for an answer, and then just persistence. I will not go without this thing and I will not stop asking for it or believing or assuming I am it until that which I believed or assumed I asked for is perfectly in my world, period. I just continue to insist that I am this thing. I don't care if it's weather, the economy. That's why I say people have all these gods. Della, you cannot be in the in-between. You're not in the in-between. There is no in-between. You either have it or you don't. And where you have it is in your mind. Where it will show up is in your hand. But you either have it in your mind or you don't. If you don't have it in your mind, it will never come in your hand. There is no in-between. That is a human construct. Humans divide time. Humans divide hours. Humans divide days. God does not. Your higher level of thought does not. It sees everything as now. But when you pick it, you're now that. And now that you're that, how could you be waiting? You're not waiting. You are this thing. It will come into your physical world, but it will not if you're waiting. Because guess what you're doing? Waiting. You're waiting. If God waits, who's going to tell God to hurry up? You want to do it?
No, I don't want to do it.
Right? So then
Right.
if you, Della, are saying you're waiting, you're like we talked about last night, you're narrating your life. You are telling yourself out loud what you're doing. You're telling yourself. You're just not hearing what you're saying. You're waiting, Della. That's why you don't have what you want. Because you're waiting to have it, because you're using your humanity to dictate to you what you have or don't have. But God thinks, and so it is. Humanity says it is in my hand, so it is. But it never gets to your hand without the thought. So if your thought is saying, I'm waiting, you are actually waiting, and you think you're waiting on the Lord. You're waiting on the law, but the law is as a mind thinks. And what did your mind think? I'm waiting. So guess what you're doing, Della? You looking out there, and Amazon ain't coming, brother. You ain't placed no order. It's not coming. You can stay home all night like it's cable, all day. We're coming between 8 and 12. You know how they do that, right? And then it's 2.
Yep.
Yeah, you waiting. You're telling yourself, you are narrating, Della, when you're speaking. You're narrating, you're telling yourself something. You just told me that you're in between. I had a parent last week tell me that they're in between jobs. So are they employed or not?
Well, not employed.
Okay, so if you're in between thoughts, guess what you are?
Thoughtless.
What?
Thoughtless.
You are what? Unemployed. Okay? That's what you are. You are mentally unemployed. Now, if you pray to heaven and you say, God, can I get this? And God says, I'm in between jobs right now.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing, Della. You're in between jobs. You're unemployed. You are mentally unemployed right now. You need to be employed. Whatever it is you're talking about, you now, not after the call, not tomorrow, not after you have your Cheerios and you walk around the block and meditate. You are now whatever it is you want to be or do or have. It's now. It's not tomorrow. It's not later. You're not in between jobs. You're not in between prayers. There's no in between. That is a human thing. That's not reality. Humans don't make anything. Humans don't create anything. Humans are created. Humans are not in control of anything. We are kids being told what to do by our parent, that higher part of our mind. We're not in control of anything. So you choose whatever it is you are talking about. You are that now, whether it's in doing, possession, or being. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, absolutely. So what I'm thinking now is I should say that I am blank now instead of saying I am, because that anchor of now, okay, well, I don't know, that just clicks more.
If that's what turns you on, do it. Right?
Excellent.
That's it. But you are that now. You're not going to be, you're not will be, you're not when you see it. That's humanity. That's not God. Humanity doesn't create anything. Humanity itself is created. So humans aren't in control of anything. Only God is in control. And that is your higher mind. And when you say, I am this thing, that is your higher mind saying, this is what we believe ourselves to be. He has created him. Him is now going to the marketplace to get the physical reflection of itself. Whether it's what you want to be as an individual, or whether you people who are doing business want to have clients or success or whatever it is you want. You are presenting to yourself to the marketplace. That is what your clients are buying. Your clients are buying you.
Yeah.
Everybody hear that? Everybody pay attention. Make eye contact. Your clients are buying you. They're not buying the service you're giving. The service you're giving is an expression of you. They're buying you. So if you are a failure, what type of service are you going to provide that's going to succeed? How are they going to see it as successful? And so they can't patronize you. They can't buy from you. That would be saying you're successful, but you're not, because you're not in mind. Your product is not a failure. You are. Your product is not a success. You are. You're just using the product is what you're using to get the money back, which is a physical reflection of your success. So you're going to sell as much physically as in your mind. So when you say I'm a millionaire, that means you got to sell some product. When you say I have 4 rental car businesses and my cars are always clean and sold out, that means you got to have cars, you got to have staff, and they got to be clicking and clacking and cracking. And so the clients, the customers are physical reflections of your consciousness. You're drawing them to you. You think you're marketing, you think you're advertising. All your marketing and advertising is your first business. And your first business is what?
You.
So if you think you're selling anything but yourself, you're incorrect. Take off the sombrero.
Mm.
Let's knock it off. Take it off. Keep it off. Burn it. Do not put that cap back on again. Make no mistake, undoubtedly, unequivocally, and I'll end it with that. Undoubtedly, unequivocally, your first business is you, and that is the business you're selling, and that is the business people are buying. If you think it's anything different than that, it's not true. I don't care what it looks like, feels like, sounds like, people tell you it's like, it ain't it. The first business you are selling is you, because that is the only business you're ever in. Your business of being you may have a business called this, called that, called this or the other. But you are the one that people are buying. You are the one that people are seeing. You are the one that has drawn all the people into your world that reflects what it is you, your consciousness, God is thinking. Change you, you change your business. According to you, so goes your business, whether that's your health, your business, your money, all your physical work. All right, we'll talk about the class in a second. Before we do that, anything anyone wanted to say before I talk about the class and all that stuff?
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
My
Thank
pleasure.
you, thank you, Vero. Thank you. I had to leave the house and I have the one device is on for Gavin. Cassidy's at work, but Gavin is on the device at home and I'm out running around and I'm just like, everybody in the store with me is getting this information because I have this loud and proud for everybody to hear all this great info. Thank you, Coach Lucky, yet again.
My honor and pleasure. Thank you. Okay, so over the course of time, people have been, Sparkle Bailey probably incited the riot again, so to speak. But over the course of time, people have been asking about having this information more consistently. So last week, Veronica and I, this past week, we put together something to address people's desire for more of this during the week. So starting Monday, I'll just kind of say this part and Veronica will tell you the particulars, but starting this Monday, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 12 o'clock my time, noon my time, which is 2 some of your time, 3 some of your time, California time, 12 California time, we're going to have a class called the Mentality Club. And the mentality means your consciousness your consciousness is alive and it has a mind, which are your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. A mentality is those thoughts, feelings, and beliefs sharpened. We are going to sharpen your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs so they cutting like an army knife. So they cutting like a Ginsu knife, like a chef knife, right? So it's a mentality club. We have a club where we are creating your mentality so that every day you learn how to live and remember how to live like we're talking about, not just Saturday. We're going to do it. Saturday, this class will remain as it is. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 12 o'clock my time is the Mentality Club. And essentially we're getting together and I'm just going to throw something out every Monday, Wednesday, Friday for us to stay on track, keep on track. It'll be coming live from wherever I am at the time, right? It won't be this type of setup, but from wherever I am at the time. And it's for everyone to be able to remember who they are during the week so that we have a little bit more, as Sparkle Bailey told me, a little more medicine during the week, right? A little more support during the week and remembering and reminders during the week. And so it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday. This week is free. It's just to get it up and running, get it going and everything like that. Then the next week, it will be $49.99 a month. And it'll be every Monday, Wednesday, Friday for an hour, 12 to 1, my time, Pacific time. And it'll be every Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
We can do the 99.
Or 49, whatever. Yeah, because I'm into all that. Right. So, right. So just wanted to let you know that's what the class is. That's what it's about. It's the Mentality Club. And essentially it's just coming to get this Saturday, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday also. I'll be talking about a variety of different things. The class will go faster. So it'll just be kind of like, here's something to talk about, think about, review, use, and then Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we'll do that 3 days a week. This week it'll be free, just up and running. Just sign up and you'll get an email how to get in. Then the second week, it'll be 49 a month, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, hour, 12 o'clock my time. And it's just mentality. We're just going to be literally sharpening your mind every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, sharpening it up. What are you thinking? Does that work? If not, get it out. If it does work, we need to sharpen it up to make sure it's only one cut necessary, right? Just sharpening your mind, sharpening your mind. So this is something we're offering as a result of people's, everybody kind of asking at one point or another. It's like, okay, well, go ahead and do it. So this is the time I had to do it. So just putting that out, and you guys can do with it as you please. And then go ahead, you can say whatever you want to say.
Yeah, so the link for the trial is in the chat. And we will record it, Natasha, so there will be replays. It'll be exclusive though to those who join. And right now this is the trial link. So after we do the first trial week, then I'll send out the sign up link. But right now we just want you guys to get the free trial.
All right. Anybody have any questions about that? You don't have to do it. You don't need it. It's available for you if you want it. It's wonderful, but I want you to know, I say, I'm not talking myself out of money. I don't mean that, but I want you to know, like, you have what it takes. You have what it takes. You don't need a whole bunch of craziness and a whole bunch of everybody telling you what to do. Start thinking properly, right? Start remembering who you are. Natasha, thank you so much for that good news this week. I really enjoyed that. So congratulations to you and stuff like that. And to some other people as well, right? But so this is for you if you want it and you enjoy it. You don't have to come, you don't have to be there, but it's open. And if you're in here, we're gonna get it cracking like we normally do, Monday, Wednesday, Friday for an hour each day. Sharpen your mind, sharpen your thoughts, eliminate the ones that don't need to be there, put in the ones that do, sharpen the ones that are. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, like we've done this class every Saturday without cease or fail, until or unless we change something, right? So whatever you guys want to do, just wanted to let you know it's available to you, and it's all good. Anything anybody want to say? Any questions or anything before I let you go?
The last thing real quick. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Sparkle Bailey.
Real quick, the last thing I'm gonna say is, I put it in the chat, but I want to just make sure that people hear me say this as well. We spend a lot of time on social media. We spend a lot of time worrying. We spend a lot of time just wasting really valuable time doing all these idle activities when our minds are so precious. And this call, we all consistently come back to this call every Saturday. I really encourage y'all, because y'all are winners. Everybody that can hear my voice right now is a winner. We are different from those who haven't realized who they are yet. We are different from those who have not woken up yet. So why don't we take this to the streets? Why don't we take this to the streets and just do this more often and grow and build and just poop on everybody else who ain't caught up yet? That's all I want to say. Coach Lucky, I can't thank you enough, because $49 a month is a steal. So thank you so much, Coach Lucky. Thank you, Vero.
My pleasure. Yes.
Yeah, Coach Lucky is not trying to get rich off of this. He's just wanting to give the value. So we wanted to make sure it was something affordable for everyone.
Coach, I just wanted to thank you, Sparkle Bailey, for that. And thank you for, what did you say, Coach, in igniting the riot, insinuating the riot?
Yeah.
Sparkle Bailey? Yeah. Thank you, Sparkle Bailey. Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Vero. I just said yesterday, as I'm becoming who I'm supposed to be, I need to hone in on my mindset so that there's less confusion, there's less noise. And this is right on time. I asked for it, and here it is. So thank you so much.
Our pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, man, that's super dope. The class. I got you. I'm gonna sign up and try to make as many as I can. But as I told you yesterday, just thank you for, igniting the spark and letting me know that, hey, my higher self is a lot powerful than my human mind. And once I tap into it, it's fabulous. I'm being a White House, something. No, I'm joking, but I'm just saying, like, just being able to tap into that. And then, like, as I shared with you, seeing the things come into fruition literally like a day or two after I was like, okay, this is what we about to do. So appreciate you.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm telling you, it's the best news I could get. It's the best news I could get. So thank you, and I'm so happy. And get man, and all of you keep doing it. Keep doing it, man. If you just give it a shot, if you just believe in yourself as much as you believe in your kids and your significant others and every other thing you believed in, if you believe in this one thing, your higher mind, if you do that, man, it'll take you higher than a satellite. You'll be living in heaven. You will literally be walking on water, turning water into wine. That's literally what you will be doing. So that's what all this is for. And so I'm happy and honored and grateful that all of you show every Saturday, and we can start up Monday, Wednesday, Friday as well. Starting this Monday, we'll get it going, and we'll get a couple more days in of some conditioning, and start running this race, to win and start winning and keep winning. Right? The same people every marathon winning, like we talked about 2-3 weeks ago. Same people win. You can keep winning your race every time, coming in first. So, yes, wonderful. Hey, well, thank you all. Have a wonderful rest of the weekend. I'll see you all Monday. And thank you all for everything. It's always an honor and pleasure to share this time with you. So thank you. That's right. Be strong. That's it.
I'll get the replay for today up. I'll try to do it by tonight because today was fire. Like, I think it was definitely hot in here.
That's it.
So
It's in her.
in her.
God, man, you know what? Just don't do it.
See,
Don't do it.
in her.
See,
So
too late.
then,
Now
you guys
it's not
can,
happening.
we can all watch it over because I'm watching this one over. It was good. Yeah.
All right. Hey, thank you all. Appreciate you all. Have a wonderful day, a wonderful week coming up. See you Monday, and we'll keep doing it.
Bye, guys.
Peace.